Now it's time to meet the third member of our announced team, the Saturday night voice of the Speedbowl, who will bring you the starting lineups in our 20-lap mini-stock feature, Dave the Bulldog Barrowbolt.
Thank you very much, Matt Buckler. Good evening, everybody. 20 laps for mini-stock excitement. And here's their starting lineup. Starting on the pole, driving the number 11 from Lisbon, Connecticut, it's Ken Cassidy Jr. Outside of him, from Wood River Junction in the Circle T Masonry, Madison Signs, Chuck Main sponsored, it's the 38 of Ian Brew. On the inside of row number 2, it's the 01 Superior Auto Body, A&A Auto Parts, Pier 76 Marina, bring us Nate Appel from Westbrook, Connecticut. In position number 4 will be the number 81. That is Phil Evans from Uncasville. Going off from position number 5 will be the 28. That is Ron Fortune from Carolina, Rhode Island. Outside of him, driving the 8 machine, that is William Leonard from Wood River Junction, Rhode Island. Holmes Garage, I Like Davies Electric, and Performance Plus sponsor that machine. On the inside of row number 4 will be the 91, that is Niantic, Connecticut's Chris Williams. To his right will be the 65, that is Richard Brooks from Groton. In position number 9 will be the 33, that is Chuck Rogers from Quaker Hill, Connecticut. Outside of him in position 10 is the 21, that is Kyle James. Going off from position number 11 will be the 3, it's Westerly, Rhode Island's Randy Johnston in the AutoWorks Finish Line Signs Skin Graphics Kagan Company sponsored car. Next to him will be the number 93, that is Jeff Soup Savardi from Taftville, Connecticut in the CB Fabrication WL Bond Trucking sponsored car. Then we have the number 37 machine, that is Hope Valley, Rhode Island's Joseph Godbout in the GCR Specialties Dunkey Cooling and Heating sponsored Extramart sponsored car. Then we have the number 88 machine, that is David Sylvia from Groton. Garbo Lobster, Salem Liquors, and Kennedy Marine are his sponsors. Going off in position number 15, he's the 2005 track champion and currently leads the points. It is the number 18 of Danny Field from Deep River, Jeff Berman, Hayes Custom Cycles, St. Pierre Builders, and Roger Allison are the sponsors for his machine. 16th on our field is the number 51, that is Mark Panarone from Ivoryton, Big A Auto Parts, Affordable Plumbing of Clinton are the sponsors. Starting in position number 17 will be the 0, that is Albert Bo Norman, Koch & Son Well and Pump Services, A&A Auto Parts, and are the sponsors. Then we have the 54, that is Jeff Miller from Westbrook, the 05 machine of Randall Churchill from Gales Ferry. Starting 20th on the field is the 6, that is Nick Papakota. Then we have the 94 of Jack Aquilina and the 04 of Christina Cunliffe. The 99 of Michael Manifold, the 64 of Thomas Smith, and Scott Belisle and Bill Hagbert Porter round out the field.
So our field, Barrowbolt.
Ken Cassidy and Ian Brew for the third time look to lead the charge down to Chad Williams, and this start is a good one. And once again, Ken Cassidy gets the jump, forges his way out to the lead. Nate Appel on the inside of Brew looks for the second spot as they come off turn 2.
Nate Appel in car number 01, another very hungry driver. Here is Evans on the outside. Ron Fortune, a factor early on in car number 28. And kicking up his heels on the outside in the 6th position is Bill Leonard in car number 8. They all are spectators now as Ken Cassidy Jr. has opened up a pretty good safety valve between himself and Ian Brew.
Brew running in the second spot. Right on his back bumper is the 81 of Phil Evans, who goes up the track a little bit. Nate Appel looks to the inside. He'll fall back to 4th. Ron Fortune sits 5th. And the battle right now between the 91 of Chris Williams and the 8 of Bill Leonard for 6th.
Also in contention, Richard Brooks trying to bounce back from a disastrous week last week on May 20th, making some progress on the outside. Kyle James, this is a driver who has a bright future. Came very close to winning a week ago. Now Brew slows down as he has swallowed some speed bumps, gets whacked by Kyle James. And a driver in distress is in the cockpit of car number 38.
And someone who is not in distress is the 11 of Ken Cassidy, who's opened up a 5-car length lead on the 81 machine of Phil Evans, who sits 2nd. The 01 of Nate Appel runs 3rd. Then we have a battle between the 28 of Ron Fortune, the 91 working the outside of Chris Williams, and the 65 of Richard Brooks.
And we know Evans is quick enough to track down the 11 of Ken Cassidy. Pretty good battle deeper in the pack as Ron Fortune will have his hands full trying to hold off the charge in the thrust of Williams in car number 91. Uncle Buck starting to move up among the elite in car number 33. So Chuck Rogers, very comfortable on the bottom groove, is starting to wiggle his way up to the front.
And the top three remain the same. Ken Cassidy leading the way. It is Phil Evans in second. Nate Appel runs third. And the battle still rages. It's the 28 of Fortune on the inside, the 91 of Chris Williams on the outside. But here comes Uncle Buck, Chuck Rogers on the inside of Williams to get the 5th spot.
The drivers running 4th through 10th could fit inside a fishbowl. Trouble as the 65 of Brooks slides. He comes to a stop in turn 2. Bad luck continues to haunt Rich Brooks, and the yellow comes out. Take place.
Cassidy and Evans bring him down, and they are side by side in turn number 1. It is Evans who gets that early jump, but the 11 of Cassidy holds him off as they go down the backstretch.
Chris Williams trying to make it 3 wide down the front straightaway. Now he backs off. Rogers moves into third. Ken Cassidy, a little bit of sideways action coming off the corner, and that caffeine twitch will give Phil Evans the lead.
Evans' lead is almost short-lived, but he gains that lead as they go down the backstretch. Trouble further back in the field.
Godbout is against the fence in car number 37, and the misery factor continues to follow Joe Godbout the third around. Yellow is out. Now Godbout brings that car off of the barrier. Ken Cassidy is right there. Here's Dave with a call.
And Evans and Cassidy welded side by side as they go into turn number 1, and right there looking for anything they give up, it's the 91 of Chris Williams as they go down the backstretch.
And now moving on the outside, he always makes it happen. The wild man, Danny Field, has invaded the top 4. Going 3 wide, the 11 of Cassidy, the 81 of Evans and Chris Williams in car number 91. The 2 co-leaders drifted up, almost created enough room for Chris Williams. It is going to be mind-boggling as they come off the 4th corner. This time, Evans keeps it low. A little rubbing with the 11, and Ken Cassidy has gotten his lead back.
We are halfway home. It is the 81 of Evans and the 11 of Cassidy running side by side down the backstretch, battling for that first spot. It is the 91 of Williams in third, the 18 of Field fourth, and in fifth, the 33 of Chuck Rogers.
Cassidy all over Evans like shingles on a roof as they head into the 2nd turn. Chris Williams, a great run for him. Danny Field is joining the party. So is Rogers, and coming out of the wilderness in car number 21, Kyle James. So Kyle insane. James has moved into the number 6 spot.
And still back at the front, those 2 cars side by side have roared around the track. The 81 of Phil Evans, the 11 of Cassidy, still side by side as they go into turn 3.
Frantic Phil trying to fight off Ken the Kid Cassidy. Right there is Williams. They swivel off the corner, and now Evans has pulled ahead by only a half a car. There is no white flag in the glove compartment of Ken Cassidy Jr. Those 2 cars are almost stapled together as they hit the 4th turn.
They have battled side by side for almost 5 or 6 laps now. Who will take home the win? It is Evans on the inside, Cassidy on the outside, and here comes Chris Williams to make it 3.
Now you don't see this in the mini stocks very often. 2 drivers sideways, side by side, no contact, no frantic activity, just hard flat out racing. Once again, Evans pulls ahead by a half a car. In the glove compartment is Ken Cassidy. Then it is Williams. Field there waiting for something to happen. Kyle James might have the fastest car on the track right now as he whizzes his way into the number 5 spot.
Phil Evans leads the way, and he has his mirror full of the 11 of Ken Cassidy. Cassidy gets a little sideways now off turn number 2. The 91 gets a run on the inside, but we have yellow flag action.
Godbout, we're ready to determine the champion of tonight's 20-lap mini-stock feature with Dave Barabalt.
Phil Evans and Chris Williams in the 4-lap dash for the checker. It is Evans on the inside, Chris Williams on the outside. Now those 2 cars battle side by side, but Evans gets the run as they go into turn 3.
When Evans' car is at the top of his game, it is tough to beat, but a man who is capable of doing that, the wild man, Danny Field, is moved into 2nd. Can he make his 3rd comeback win of the season?
It is Evans leading the way down the backstretch, the 18 of Field, but we have yellow on the speedway as the 51 of Panarone, the 6 of Papakota and the 04 of Christina in the second row as they come off turn 4 and get the green flag from Chad Williams. It is a 3-lap run for the checker, and Danny Field has the early jump.
Field looked like he was fired out of a skeet shooter as he gets the upper hand. Here comes Evans. Evans is all over him like a pair of big dice hanging off the dashboard mirror. Here comes Evans. Williams threatening to make it 3 wide as they go across the stripe.
Field having to work the far way around the track. It is Evans on the inside holding the lead, and the 91 of Chris Williams sits in the 3rd spot, waiting to see what happens in the battle for the lead. Once again, the 18 of Field pulls even with Phil Evans as they come off turn number 4. White flag in the air. They'll slide up the track. That allows Williams to get a run, but it is still Evans, Field, side by side through turn 2. Down the backstretch, Evans gains a bit of an advantage. Field will look to pull even as they come off turn number 4. Field, Evans, here comes Chris Williams as Evans gets a little bit sideways and spins in front of the field. And we have the 90, crossing the line is the 18 of Danny Field for the win. The 91 of Chris Williams runs second, and then the 88 of Dave Sylvia third.
And heading into the start-finish line, after nailing down his 3rd win of the season, the Wild Man, Danny Field. Well, that was a restart everybody wanted to see. Phil Evans against Danny Field, and we got more than what we bargained for. Here he is, climbing out of the race car, the defending champion, Danny Field. Okay, Danny, take a deep breath and tell us what happened on that final lap.
I don't know. Phil really wanted it bad, I guess. We just hung on. We were getting bounced around a little bit, but I just kept burying my foot in it, and it just kept making power, and we got it done. I don't know how.
Now, 3 wins, all of them come from behind victories. How are you able to pull this off? The come from behind kid right here, Danny Field.
I don't know, man. I just drove the heck out of this car, and it was flying. I want to thank Larry's Auto Machine. I want to thank Hayes Custom Cycles. I want to thank Jeff Berman for helping me. I want to thank my crew chief for Canton, my crew, Cliff, Roger, everybody, James, my wife, the Speedbowl. It's great.
And what a great finish for the driver of car number 18, Danny the Wild Man Field. What a way to start the